Let's go.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Tamara, aka Girl from Harlem.
And this is Ray Daniels, aka the Culture Referee.
And this is the Guy Show. The Culture Report.
The Culture Report. You gotta say the Guy Show, Culture Report. By the way, like, share, subscribe. I always tell people it takes nothing to show support. But in our world, when you like, when you share, when you subscribe, it affects our business. So it costs you nothing, but it changes everything for us. So if you could do that, please do that.
Yes, and we appreciate everything. And leave us comments, because we definitely check the comments. Yeah, we want to know what you guys
talk your shit. I don't care if you disagree. Talk your shit. Tamira's crazy. I got some shit to say.
I'll be in there arguing with y'all. But you know what I was thinking about? What were we doing before Shazam? Like, if you wanted to find a song, like, in the club, how did y'all find songs back in the day? Because I was in the club this weekend, and I was Shazamming everything. Like, not back in the day. That sounds a little mean. It sounds a little mean, no.
How did you do it back in the day? Well,
back in ancient times.
Back in the late 1900s, what we would do is, if the song came on, you would have to go to the DJ and ask the DJ, whose song is this?
How the hell you gonna ask the DJ and he's playing? Like, he got things to do.
Oh, no. When you heard, I give you a perfect example. I remember when I was in the club and I heard, Usher, You Don't Have to Call. I just remember it loud and clear. And I remember we was in the club in Buckhead and I remember I was like, who the fuck is this? This is incredible. And went to the DJ like, yo, who is this? He's like, this new Usher record. And you just had to find it. But you also had to go, it's the same thing online. It's just instead of talking to people online, you just talk to a person.
People don't do that anymore. So Bad Bunny is getting sued for $40 million for a voice sample. Do you know anything about that?
I would just say this, people get sued. I want people to understand the concept of protecting yourself. I'm glad you brought that up. I'll tell you a story. I remember when we got sued, my team got sued, and in the middle of the process, I'm trying to protect my ass. They like, so you get sued. I don't know if anybody have this. By the way, if you're listening, this is how it goes. So you get sued.
I was just about to ask.
I'm about to say, so you get sued, so you usually find out the news first. So I seen in the news, such and such was being sued for a song. It was Miley Cyrus, We Can't Stop. It was being sued. Okay, I didn't think none of it. I'm like, that's weird that somebody sued us, but it was some bullshit, by the way, too. And then what happens is now our lawyer hits us and said, hey, you guys are a part of this lawsuit if you're named in a lawsuit, right? And then once you do that, now you have to hire a litigator. Once you hire a litigator, you have to hire a litigator for all the parties.
Who pays this?
I'm about to get to that. It's usually, so let's say, for example, someone sues the God Show. If they sue the God Show, they just sue Ray Daniels and the God Show, you don't have nothing to worry about. But if they list your name in the lawsuit, now we got to get a litigator.
I feel like it's going to be my name
No, I'm saying, if they list your name in the lawsuit, we get a litigator. So what happens is I see the news and I'm like, all right, cool. A couple of days later, a lawyer calls like, you guys will be a part of this lawsuit. I'm like, okay, what that mean? He said, that means you got to hire a litigator. Okay, so are we paying for it? He was like, well, it's 4 parties. Mike Will, Miley Cyrus, Sony, you guys. Okay, cool. So the litigator, and usually you want to hire one litigator because one litigator or one firm handles everything. So I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. So I'm like, well, how much does a litigator cost? Oh, well, the down payment is $200,000. What? The fuck? But it's a lie. Why you just don't tell them that that's not true? They was like, it doesn't work like that. So they tell us, so now they're like, well, now you guys have to write a check for $50K. Okay, cool. So so of course, because I'm a manager, I go to my guys and I say, hey, I go to the lawyer and I said, before we write a check for $50,000, is everybody writing a check for $50,000?
Right.
Because,
that's a good question.
You know what I mean? So of course, I'm like, is everybody? And they was like, well, Sony is, but Sony's $1 billion company. Miley Cyrus doesn't because Miley Cyrus has songwriter insurance. Exactly. What the fuck is songwriting?
Right.
So now they're like, I start learning the process. Anyway, long story short, that wound up costing my guys, us, at least $200K in fees and paying off, because another thing they don't tell you about getting sued is that even though the guy had nothing to stand on, which he didn't.
You still gotta go.
You still either gotta go to court, and his lawyers are going for the distance. Why? Because they get 1/3 of what he gets. So they're like, we working to get anything. And every time we gotta go to court, it's like, oh, you got to write the litigators another check for $100K. Oh, and now you start realizing that's what people say. It's millions of dollars worth of insurance. Legal fees. That's where it comes from. Because if you're being sued, you have to pay legal fees constantly, and you have to pay litigators constantly, right? Because your lawyer in the music business. This is something else I had to learn. In the music business, your lawyer that handles your business, he's more than likely not a litigator. Oh. He's a transactional attorney.
So it's two
you gotta just learn how it goes.
Oh.
So I'm like, all right, they suing us, so you gonna handle that? No, I'm not a litigator. You have to hire a litigator. So you have to hire a litigator.
Ain't a lawyer?
No. If you're in the music business, period, you should have a lawyer. But I'm saying if you're getting sued, 9 times out of 10, your lawyer is not a litigator.
Got it.
They are a transactional lawyer. They handle that, right? So, that wound up costing us 6 figures. But if we just had songwriter insurance, which we didn't know about, which here's the crazy part. I have so many friends in the business that I start calling about, because obviously when you hear things, you're like, it's like if I said songwriter insurance to somebody, I wouldn't want no one to say, like, almost you don't want to feel left out. So when my lawyer said it to me, I was like, oh, what's that? He said, oh, well, you should have it. It goes like this. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, well, maybe I don't know. So then I start calling all my friends in the music business, and none of them ever heard of it.
Oh, okay. I was like, everybody knew just not you.
None of them ever heard of it. But I will say this, that I do know a company that has it, and you should. I'll put the website at the bottom. But I think that all artists and creatives should cover their ass, because anybody can sue you for anything. And even if it's nothing to do with nothing, you still have to hire and pay lawyers. Get some insurance, risk management insurance, and it'll cover it for you. So that's what I would say.
That's really good advice.
But yeah, so back to what you're saying about Bad Bunny. We don't know what the story is, but he's gonna pay.
No matter what.
He's gonna pay. And the crazy part is that we got sued. You guys will look it up, because I don't know how much legally I could put out there, but the amount of money we got sued with, we settled for like 0.05 of that.
Oh, geez.
So we settled and wrote a check, but he just made it up. Mm-hmm. We didn't even, it was like either keep paying lawyers millions of dollars and go to court, or how much you want for this to go away? All right, give it to him. Jeez. So it's dangerous. It's
a dirty game. So we actually have the first artist that is transitioning publicly. Gucci Mane had an artist named Lil Wop. He had made the brave decision to come out and live his truth. In a recent Instagram post, he said that he's officially transitioning. Do you think that he will be able to be successful in music nowadays, transitioning from male to female?
I think there's a market for anyone. If you are a gay rapper that makes Halloween music and that's all you do, there is a market for it. So for me to ask, do I think he can make it? I mean, dog, in this new music industry we're in, anybody can make it. If you want to make fireworks music, you can do that. Like if you want to make music for guys that wear green and white hats, you can do that now. And if there's a market for it, people will show up. And here's the best part. If there's not a market for it and the music is good enough, motherfuckers will start buying green and white hats. So for me, and to be honest with you, I don't think the decision was brave. I don't think it was brave.
Why not?
I just think that being yourself shouldn't have to be a brave thing. I think when we say it's brave, it makes other people feel like, well, maybe if it's brave, maybe I might not do it. Bro, he just living his truth. Live your truth. Whatever it is, there's a market for you. If you want to make music for married Christians who like to fucking swing, there's a market for it, baby.
The reason why I said brave though is
I get why you're saying brave, but you were right, by the way. I'm just saying we have to change the narrative.
But I like that take away from the
like
stigma,
because now it becomes a stigma. Yeah. Like, bro, just being himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't like him before, you ain't gonna like him now. And if you were interested and you don't follow him, then you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself what the fuck wrong with you. Period. Like, if I like somebody, I don't care what they do at the end of the day. I like them. That's it.
I'm half and half on that one. But
tell me, no,
because you know how I feel about R. Kelly. That's that separating the artist from the music type thing, and I have a hard time with that. But we're not gonna get into that.
What do you mean?
Because you're saying, like, if I like the music, I don't really care what you do. And I'm saying...
No. That's not what I said. I'm saying if you like the music and they want to go somewhere else and you're not following them other place because it offends you,
Oh, okay.
then something is wrong with you.
All right.
Like
Gotcha.
when R. Kelly, I give an example. When R. Kelly made "I Believe I Could Fly," if he was like, I don't like him for that, he makes sex songs. It's like, well, something wrong with you then, because you know what I mean. Why can't he?
You want him to only talk about sex.
Basically, you're trying to keep them in a box. That's your fault, not their fault. Artists should be free.
Okay. I knew that was gonna happen. So T.I. said that he is leading the way on AI music. We've been talking about AI music all over the place, but he's the first one to actually get permission to do an AI song, and he did it with Biggie.
T.I. did?
I mean, did I say T.I.?
You said T.I. Timbaland.
Oh, Timbaland, sorry. That's because my note got deleted by mistake, and now I'm freestyling. Yeah, so it was Timbaland, and so it caused some controversy. Ice Cube came out and said, "I do not support anything like this. If you use my voice,
I'm gonna sue you.
I'm gonna sue you, and I'm gonna sue the company that puts it out." I thought that was a big thing too, because he said, "I'm not just suing. Like, I wouldn't just sue Timbaland. I would sue Apple Music for putting it out. I would sue Spotify." Do you think that? One, do you think Timbaland should be even messing with stuff like this as an artist? How do you even?
It goes back to what I just said. Artists should be free.
There has to be limits.
No, listen what I'm trying to tell you. The limit, first of all, the one thing I'll say to Ice Cube, and I don't know Cube, but before you start saying what you're gonna do if someone does something, you better make sure you have the right to do so. Because if Universal cuts a deal on AI, and your catalog is a part of Universal. Now, don't get me wrong. They can respect you and say, you know what, Ice Cube's a guy, let's respect him. But before you start saying you're going to sue, make sure you have the rights to sue. Like when streaming came, if you had to give permission if you own the masters. Right. That's why Aaliyah wasn't streaming for a long time. That's why Jay-Z was able to say, I'm not putting Reasonable Doubt in my music on these platforms. I'm going to put it on Tidal, because he owned his stuff. So before you start saying what you're going to do if somebody does something, make sure you got a right to do that, number one. And I just think that Timbaland called me about this, by the way. Shout out to Timbaland. That's a friend of mine. It's my best big bro. I love Timbaland. And he called me about it. But the thing is that what's wrong with it? I don't see what's wrong with it. I just don't. Maybe it's me, but I think, let me ask you a question. We have the God Show. I'm gonna ask you right now. Hit me out. We have the God Show. In 20 years, they're gonna be able to have a AI Ray and an AI Tamara filming the God Show like they're us.
And I would hate that.
And we're getting paid for what they're doing. Shut your ass up. You ain't gonna be mad. You're gonna be like, okay, hey, bro. Because you see what I'm trying to say? So it's like, it's really just about how you view business. But if there's a way to be a virtual Ray and he can get programmed to go do what I do and I don't have to do it and I can still make money from it, why the fuck not?
Yeah, but I'm thinking about it like from Biggie's children's like point of view. I get it because like, hey, if you put money to the state and we can still live off of it, but it's like, my father's dead. Let his legacy end where it is. Let it you don't know what he would be rapping about today. How do y'all?
My father is dead. R.I.P. to my father. And if someone can bring my father back where I can hear his voice saying stuff to me or whatever, I would want it. It's all about preference.
But if it's not how he really spoke to you, if it wasn't really what his messages was, if it wasn't really
I haven't
authentic.
heard my father's voice in 20 years. If somebody can bring his voice to life and I could go talk to it, I would fucking love it. Right. That's my point.
We'll go with preference.
I'm just saying it's all preference. And some people might say, oh, that's weird. But for me, it's not. I'm just saying this world is full with opinions. And we got to stop feeling like your opinion only affects you. Unless you're a celebrity or unless you lead a community. We do. So
y'all gonna mess up history. I swear to God. Like, it's just gonna be so messed up and people not gonna be able to tell what was real, what was fake.
You know
it's
who
gonna
said
be
that?
a thing.
You know who said that? There was a white person in a record label in the 50s that said, if we let black people do music, we're going to mess things. I'm just being honest with you. You always got...
You reversed the race card on me.
I'm just saying, we have to not be afraid of us going forward. Period. There was a guy that rode horses, and then somebody made a car, and that guy was like, I'm not riding no damn car. My horse Michael is gonna drive. You know what I mean? It's just, that's the world we live in. The world, you will always be on the wrong side of history if you hate on the future.
There's plenty of new artists out there. Like, why are we messing with stuff that is already good and perfect and that we love and appreciate? That's just like you said. It goes back to preference.
It goes back to preference. I got you.
So I'm
not mad at that. By the way, I'm not mad at that. It doesn't bother me.
Oh Lord. Rick Ross and DJ Envy have been all over everybody's timeline for the past like 2 weeks, eating each other up about their car shows. Now it's getting personal. They're bringing families into it. It's getting crazy. My question is that both of them are doing really good stuff in the community as far as trying to educate everybody about real estate and entrepreneurship. And I think that they're kind of losing that message in the shenanigans that they're doing and trying to bring promotion to their car shows. How do you feel about the tactics that they're using to sell tickets? And do you think that is smart, or do you think it's kind of hindering their brands?
I think if me and you beefing, keep me and you in it. I think Ross went too far when he stopped talking about his wife. Period. If I'm beefing with you, I'm beefing with you. Mind you, Ross should know this because remember he was beefing with 50 and what 50 did. You know, remember what 50 did? That 50 released like a sex tape or something. It's like, I believe that if two men are beefing, they should beef. If I'm about to fight another man, I'm not going to beat his son up because his son is right there, or beat his wife up. So why would I bring his wife or his son into our business? I think Ross went too far. I hope it's a setup. I hope they're working together. I hope that this is like a plan to sell sell tickets. I pray it's that. But if it's not, and if Ross is right here, I'll tell him, bro, you went too far. And I'm a fan of Ross, but bro, leave families out of this shit. Don't bring that man's wife into it because he got to go home to her. And she probably look at him like, what the hell are you going to do about it? And he got to do something, right?
That's all I was thinking. I was like, I know they're in the house.
I'm just saying, you got to leave family out of it. Period. Just leave. That's my thing. Two men fight, two men should fight. Two men beef, two men should beef.
So there are limitations.
Was anybody worried about Faith getting killed when Biggie and Pac was beefing? No. We knew what it was. We knew it was who it was about, who was beefing, everything else. Today, we got to worry about that, the way these motherfuckers is moving. Hide your wife, hide your kids, because they killing everybody. You gotta worry about that.
Okay, so Teyana has been helping the girls out with their stage presence. She recently worked with Lotto, and now Summer Walker has brought her on board to help her because, girl, Summer needed some help. She was getting ate up on Instagram and in all the comments because fans weren't really feeling her performances. So I think that it's really smart to bring somebody like Teyana, who is an amazing performer, on. Do you think that they're going in the right direction with Summer Walker's career by bringing somebody like Teyana on?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
my first time hearing it. Yeah,
so they just a clip came out this morning or either last night of Teyana and Summer Walker in practice, and it looks so good. Like it's real performance this time. It's not Summer Walker standing there looking at us like, y'all forced me to be here. So I think that is really going to elevate her career. It's going to make her more of a performer.
Here's my thoughts on Summer. If you're a fan of her and you're mad that she is not doing certain things, stop being a fan or be a fan and accept that that's who she is. It's weird to me how people, like, I'm not going to support an artist if they're doing something that I don't support, period. So it's weird how people build people like Summer up and then be like, she's not performing. Well, you built her up, y'all.
Well, I think like we just thought it was a phase because like in the beginning she was like, oh, I'm shy, like I'm an introvert and all that stuff. And we was giving it to her in the beginning like, okay, girl, we'll deal with it. But then like her personality looked different than what she was putting out there. And then it's like, okay, I can understand you being shy the first year, the second year, but it's like, you're doing this. Like, this is what you do for a living.
The bigger
get
you
better
get,
at it.
It's something you have to know about this world, y'all. The bigger you get, the more of an introvert you have to become.
I can see it.
It is so if you think that someone's going to get bigger and all of a sudden want to perform more, you don't understand the concept of fame. The bigger you become, the more of a recluse you become. That's why celebrities have these big ass houses with fucking bowling alleys and basketball courts in it. Because I can't go bowl no more. Mm-hmm. I can't go play basketball no more. I can't swim no more.
She could perform once a year for all I care, but at least give us something good. Like,
but all you care because you not obviously can't be a fan.
I listen to her music. I'm not like a fan. I wouldn't go buy a ticket because she's performing. Right, you're right.
You know who she is, and you might like a song. That doesn't make someone a fan. That just means you're part of her audience. A fan is a fan. So you're not a Summer fan. But if you are a Summer fan and you're mad that she doesn't perform, either be a fan or don't. But complaining is so weird to me. Like, it's just weird to me how everyone just feels entitled to everyone and what they do. That's why I'm the culture referee. Because you need a black daddy in the room to say, y'all need to shut the fuck up. That is not y'all business.
Oh, please. Artists need to grow too. They can't just stay where they came in at. So, like, no,
Adam Sandler has.
You said
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler has been making the same kind of movies for 25 years. Either you stay with him or you don't.
I'm talking about music artists.
To me, artists are creatives. He's a creative. He also writes and produces his movie.
You were the same person who said that Drake made the same music for the longest and Jay-Z changed his music and we got to grow with him. So people want to grow with the person that they're a fan of.
I'm glad you brought that up. You're right. That's why I fuck with Drake, but I rank Jay-Z and Kanye higher than him. Because as talented and as consistent he is, the only knock on Drake is that he has not grown as an artist. That doesn't take him away from being a great fucking artist. That's what I'm saying. He didn't evolve as an artist, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He didn't evolve the way he should. Like what I said about Drake was that if you listen to like, I'll put it like this, if you listen to Jay-Z's Where I'm From, he couldn't say that today.
Right.
Couldn't say that. He couldn't say Where I'm From right now because he already did that. Drake made 100 Where I'm Froms and is still making more Where I'm Froms. And what I'm saying is that, but that doesn't, everyone has been fire. He's incredible. We'll make sure it's not no hate. I love Drake. He's in my top 10 rappers of all time by far. But the one knock on him is he didn't grow. I give you a knock on Jay-Z if you want. I'm a music nigga. I can give you a knock on anybody.
I would love to hear a knock on Jay-Z.
I ain't gonna lie, it's hard.
Okay.
I didn't expect that. Hold on. No. Let me see.
I can give you a moment to gather your thoughts.
Let me see. Jay-Z didn't chase commercial success. And when he did, it failed.
Like, as Dark Carters and all that, that's kind of commercial.
No. When he did, he failed.
Okay.
In My Lifetime Volume 1, Shiny Suit Era, when he makes You Belong to the City, and he makes the record with Babyface, You Deserve to Be My Sunshine. By the way, Hov has said on record, I shouldn't have chased the Shiny Suit Era. And he became that nigga when he stopped chasing. So, listen, bro, here's the thing. Every great player misses shots. Every great artist is going to miss his mark. You know why Drake has not failed and has not missed one time? You want to know why Drake has never failed? Because he's never reached for anything different. And the only time he actually did was on that Honestly Nevermind album where he was like, this is for music like this. That was a one time
type music.
Yeah,
that's what I was like,
that was a one time, but it was still musically different. He didn't say anything lyrically different. The music was different, but lyrically he was the same as he always
been. You are absolutely right.
I know I am. I wish people knew I wish people knew that I have no malice in what I say. I just speak facts. By the way, if I was in a room with Drake and his label called and said, can you work with him? That would be what I would say. Can we take you somewhere else? Remember, he had a son and Pusha T aired him out. He didn't even announce he had a son.
He didn't even tell us, right?
You know what I'm trying to say? You could tell that Beyonce being a mother changed her. You could tell Jay-Z being a father changed him. You could tell when Kanye got with Kim how it changed him. As you live and evolve, you're supposed to change. Drake is still certified lover boy. He's been that same person since the first mixtape. Mm-hmm. He's the same person. That's what I'm trying to say.
I actually want to talk about, we're going to go to like the more music-based questions. Future's influence on drug culture. So somebody that...
Samir be trying to get me caught. I just want everybody to know, if you don't listen, I'm in the music business. I love it, by the way. It's great dancing. But Samir be like...
Barry Hefner, actually.
Go ahead, let's go.
He put a tweet out and he was going off about Future's influence on drug culture. So this is Atlanta. Y'all love y'all Future. And Future also has been on record saying that he does not do a lot of the drugs that he rapped about. And you actually love to say that rappers speak more truth than R&B singers. So he clearly been lying in his music. How do we hold somebody as a black dad, actually? And he's a black father. How do we hold somebody accountable for putting that type of kind of culture into the world that he really wasn't even living? So he did all that drug music.
He really wasn't. You said really wasn't. Let's stress that. Now, here's my thoughts, right? My thoughts is this, I don't think Future came out and gave you what he was. I don't think Future came out and gave us what he wasn't. hear me out real quick, because I want to clear this up. Because it's less Future fault and it's more society's fault.
Okay, let's.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because when Future came out, he gave us what he was. Future didn't become drug guy until like Future was already a successful rapper. He was like already had platinum records and everything. I think. Am I tripping?
No, but
I'm
waiting.
Hear me out. So my thing is that you got Future just has understood his marketing, what they want from him, right? Future is like Future saying he doesn't use the drugs as much, but he still talks about it, is equivalent to someone owning a McDonald's, but saying I don't eat the food, but people want the food, so I'm gonna sell it because I'm a businessman. That's not a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, I could see that.
So
but
what I'm saying is that I think the only problem that occurs in is when you start off saying that. So if you come in the room and say, this is who I am, and that's not you, now you're appropriating culture. But when I think of Future started talking about drugs, he was on them. And then he probably stopped trying to talk about drugs. He did at one point and he wasn't as hot. And then he came back on his toxic shit and he goes big. So is it Future or is it society?
Oh, it's society then, I guess.
Am I tripping?
We wouldn't consume it. Listen, you gotta give the people what they want. So
a businessman would. If we do the God show, if they say start talking about food and we're gonna get millions of followers, we will be having food here talking about it all day, right? Because we're gonna serve the consumer, right or wrong?
Yes.
That doesn't make us fake, does it?
No.
That just means we're business people.
Yeah.
Future is not being fake. He's just being a businessman at this point. This is what y'all want. This is what I'm gonna do. Period.
I could see that. What is the best rap storytelling song of all time?
Either Biggie, I Got a Story to Tell, or Jay-Z, Allure.
That's not what I had on my bingo card.
Jay-Z, Allure is my favorite Jay-Z song by far. And if I could do one thing with Hov, it'd be, I just want to make a movie called Allure about that song. It's that fucking good. And by the way, I had this idea 12, 13 years ago. I swear to God, I was like, I remember calling friends like, I don't know Hov, but he should do this. And I would, Allure. So Allure or Got a Story to Tell, and maybe Slick Rick Children's Story.
Okay, there we go. So I was on the same path as you. Okay.
Oh, and King Von.
Oh yes.
Got a drop on it.
Yes.
What? Hard.
Definitely, you did them. You hit that right on the nail. So, what is the greatest one-hit wonders of all time? Give me 3.
I don't know. The most disrespectful thing you can call any artist is a one-hit wonder.
Well, if you only got one hit.
Well, you only got.
We're not gonna go there. We're gonna skip it.
No, it's not cool. It's okay. One-hit wonders. What's a good one? First thing I can think about is Who Let the Dogs Out. I don't even know who the fuck sings it.
You know why I know that song? Because of the Rugrats movie.
That's what I'm trying to say. The song is, the guys that wrote it, go sing it, come right in here and we'll be like, how you doing, sir? Are you looking for somebody? So that's the first thing part of my head. But I just hate calling artists one-hit wonders because I just hate it, man. You work with artists? They some sensitive motherfuckers, man.
I only work with one artist.
Like I can say 99 positive things about your ass as an artist, but the one time I say, but I didn't like his hat, he's a fucking hater. We hate him, da-da-da. And it's like, bro, I just said all these positive stuff about it. If somebody said, we love the God Show, but we hate Ray Glass, I'm not going to be like, man. I'm going to be like, well, okay, well, I like him, but I'm glad you like the God Show. It's just weird. Artists are like very different, so it's hard to just say one-hit wonder. What's the first thing pop in your head?
I don't know if that's a one.
Say it. No, talk it to the mic.
I don't think he's a one-hit wonder, though.
Who?
It wasn't me.
Shaggy?
No, right? Yeah,
See?
but that's why I said I don't think
Shaggy
I'm gonna be.
Not Shaggy who sung Mr. Boombastic.
See, I knew I wasn't gonna be right. See, that's why I wasn't even gonna.
You're my angel, you're my darling.
See, that's why I wasn't even gonna touch it with a stick.
That's dangerous.
Because
I
know
someone is a one-hit wonder because there might be a fan of that person in the room. Like
who knows the 10 other ones?
They're like,
yep.
You don't know the 15 other songs? It's like, no, I'm sorry. So I wouldn't disrespect. But by the way, the hardest thing to do as an artist is make a hit. So I'd rather be a one-hit wonder than a no-hit nobody. Mm-hmm. Bobby McFerrin can still perform Don't Worry, Be Happy right now.
Facts.
Fuck it.
Timeless music. I think that that's the key, making timeless music. If you are going to do it, make sure it's timeless. So, like you said, you could perform it. Speaking of, Miguel's Sure Thing is #1 on pop radio due to it going viral on TikTok 13 years after its original release. How do you feel about what TikTok is doing for kind of rebranding and re-releasing songs?
I think it's incredible. I think that if you pay attention to songs right now that are going viral, every song that's going viral is going viral because it's attached to a piece of content. If I was a label, I would hire a content house. You can hire LYI if you want, and I would try to make content every day, reappropriating content that matches our songs, because you just never know. Mm-hmm. Like that Chris Brown Robitussin record, that came out 5 years ago and went #1 3 or 4 years later. Why? Because of content. The Beyonce Cuff It record went viral because of content. Everything that's going viral right now is going viral because of content. Why are artists not using that? Once again, you know the artists that are not going viral? The artists are like, I'm tired of this TikTok shit. Because you think TikTok is only dancing. Meanwhile, another artist is like, how can I fit myself on TikTok? Wherever there's a moment in life, there's a moment for music.
Ooh, put it on a t-shirt.
No, I'm serious. Wherever there's a moment in life, there's a moment of love, a moment of anger, a moment of hurt. There's a moment for music. So why are you not trying to match your music to moments? Bring it to us. Really
good advice. You got to pay this man the money. It's prom season. The kids are going crazy. Should teenagers be driving fancy cars to prom?
Once again, that's preference. When my son or my daughter or the kids in my life go to prom, they will be driving whatever the fuck they want. If
I would get them a driver because...
If Little Raymond, I'm saying, even if that Little Raymond said, I want to arrive in prom in a helicopter.
You could have a helicopter. He's not going to drive the helicopter.
That's my point. I'm just saying, that's not my preference. If he said, I want to drive one of your cars, Daddy, he could.
I don't want my kids driving on prom night. I just think it's too risky on prom night. I would hire a professional driver no matter what. Like, I just don't want
What's the difference in prom night and anything else?
Because kids might go get drunk and, prom is usually,
she's speaking from her perspective. I ain't never drunk in my life. No, I'm just, I mean,
How many people in the world have never...
No, I've drunk liquor, but I'm saying I didn't taste liquor until I was 29, 20, 30 years old. Taste it. So...
I was at 8th grade trying to steal a beer out the cooler.
You were. That's why you don't want your kids driving. The apple don't fall far from the tree, so you understand. I'm not worried about Little Raymond drinking at all.
I don't even cross my mind. If you know your kids,
I'm just saying, I just know he got me in him. It doesn't even cross my mind that he's going to drink or follow the crowd. It literally does, because I've never followed the crowd or drunk, so I don't even worry about that.
Yeah, I just seen too many, that's the saddest story ever, to see kids getting killed after prom because they were driving their father's race car and they really shouldn't have. So my suggestion is hire drivers if you don't have a kid like Little Raymond at home that you trust blindly. And then the second thing with prom season coming is kids are being really elaborate with their send-offs this year. They're having backdrops, DJs, all type of things. The conversation has been based that Kevin Hart's daughter Kondo went to prom very simple in a plain green dress.
Fashion Nova, wasn't it?
I don't know. They did say it was Fashion Nova. I wasn't sure. Oh, okay, so it was Fashion Nova. Probably got a drop. That was a deal. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is that they didn't do the whole big thing. And they're saying that's how the rich are staying rich, and then the people in neighborhoods that aren't...
Hold on. Aren't you the same person that said my mom had me wearing Gucci to school when I was in high school?
Yeah, what?
What's the difference?
What?
What? No?
No, but let me tell you. Okay, my prom was a little... But one thing my mother always said to me is I have to send you to college. My mother was very clear about budgeting her money and making sure that certain things were prioritized. And my grades also had to reflect anything that I got. If I was not getting straight A's, my mother was not buying me other stuff.
Hear me out though. But if we look at it holistically, if you're making $100,000 a year, which is good, right? Especially in the late 90s, early 2000s, making $100,000 a year was good money. If you buy a $1,000 Gucci bag, or let's say if you buy a Gucci bag and you buy your kid a Gucci shirt, whatever. Let's say you spent $2,500 at the Gucci store. You just spent 2.5% of your income on something that is not gonna make you money back. So it's never smart to buy that shit. Unless that's what you use to market yourself, and that's a part of your money, right? So by the way, I hate when people post pictures of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. They say not one Gucci belt in there. Well, guess why they don't wear a Gucci belt? Because they don't have to. But if I'm a black music exec, I better wear a Gucci belt because I'm trying to sign a young black kid. And if I don't know the right thing to wear, how am I gonna help him? So we got to chill with they don't do that. P from QC has to pull up to his meeting in a Rolls Royce. Yes. Mike Karen can Uber X to his meeting because a black kid doesn't expect Mike Karen to live his life like that. But if a black kid expects a black man from the hood with money to live his life like that. So is it wrong for P to buy a Rolls Royce? No, it's a part of his business. So we got to stop being so judgy on expensive stuff. If I got to use that honey to attract bees, then leave me the fuck alone. That's my honey. I guarantee you Bill Gates and Warren Buffett do something that people in their world is like, holy shit, did you see what Bill Gates just did? He bought the company. It's all relevant. So I just hate that narrative in our community.
If you could afford it, you could afford it, but I wouldn't go into debt sending my child to college.
Where can you, but that's what I'm saying. Can you afford it? I guarantee you if your mother had a choice to put all of that money that she spent on you on clothes in Bitcoin right now, back then, you guys would be fucking filthy rich. So like I said, it's relative. Everything we do is relative. But just because it works for you don't mean it gotta work for fucking me. And that's my issue. That's what I became the culture referee. Because the concept of a referee is someone who sits in the middle and says, you're wrong or you're wrong or you're right or you're right. And I just really want to say, why do you give a fuck? What the fuck is what he eat and make you shit? No, so why do you care? That's what I'm trying to say.
That's why
Tamira believes that wearing expensive shit is important. Then I know some black families like Tehran is one of the most successful black men I know. His wife is not spending no money on expensive shit. She's not, but they're gonna fly their kids first class to London and send them to college in France. That's how they want to spend their money. Everybody flexes their money the way they want to. It is your choice. But it's never smart unless it's your business. And if it's not your business, you just wearing Gucci to school because you're in high school, because you want to tell all the kids in high school you got more money than them, or my family is better than yours. I remember growing up in the projects, and there was this video game. You know, everybody in the projects had, you know, Sega, Genesis, or Nintendo. It was this one video game that was like more expensive than all of those, like 6 times more expensive. It's called Neo Geo. If you don't remember, I could be aging myself, it doesn't matter, but it was a game called Neo Geo. And Nintendo's cost like $100. Neo Geo cost $600 or $700. I remember kids in the projects bragging on, I got a Neo Geo. And I'm like, you're still in the fucking projects though. How are you better than me? One narrative I hate that black people do is that we think our things that we have make us better. And it doesn't make us better. Our character makes us better. Not the shit I have.
Do you know where we got that mentality from?
I guarantee you it's something to do with race.
Of course, slavery is the foundation of this.
I don't think they were slaves to worry about who wore Gucci back then.
Well, what happens is...
Just being honest with you.
What happened is the only time the slaves, and I've said this on the show before, the only time the slaves got to look nice is when our masters took us out on Sunday and dressed us up for church. So we would wear our Sunday's best. So that's why we started thinking the only time we were accepted by the white people and we felt kind of included were when we were dressed in our Sunday's best. So we started dressing to be accepted by white people. So that's why we lead with trying to look, if we go in a store and we don't have, like, I get dressed to go shopping. I get dressed to go to Saks and stuff like that because I don't feel like them even playing with me. I need them to know when I come in there that I'm there to spend money and that you need to run over here and get this commission real quick. I don't need you sitting there watching me to see if I'm stealing.
Now let me give you my side. I'd rather walk in with some dirty clothes on and see who's going to treat me with respect.
You're actually rich. I'm poor over here trying to spend my little coin.
No, I'm just saying. When I went to buy my first car, cash, I walked in with sweatpants and I wanted to see who was going to be nice to me. And whoever was nice to me, that's who got the commission. I don't want to use trinkets to attract fakes. I'd rather be real and attract real. Once again, it is all about perspective and it's all relative. So that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, that's what it is.
But you have to learn that. I'm pretty sure you was outside trying to buy the Gucci belts and stuff. in the
No,
beginning?
I did a lot of dumb shit. I did. And here's the best part. I'm not going to teach my kids to do that. My kid tell me he wants a Gucci shirt. I'm going to be like, why? Take that money and find something that's going to pay you back. I'm just saying, we're supposed to be better. And I have something that I owe it. Like, by the way, I remember sitting at a table and I said this at a room full of black people. And they looked at me like, what the fuck did you just say? And I said, I never teach my kids about slavery. Now, here's why. Here's why. I don't believe in teaching my kids. I don't believe in teaching my kids about slavery. Why would I take them to a time when we weren't good enough? You said something. You said our. You said our masters. Hold on, hear me out. You said our masters. You will never hear me say our master. I'm my own master. My ancestors had masters, maybe, but I'm my own master. That's what I mean. I don't want to talk about something that I like. You know, there's like, you're not in sports right now, are you? You're not in sports.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Okay, so let me. Okay, so I like to do comparisons and parables. Hit me out real quick. The Celtics were down 0-3. Historically speaking, any team in the NBA that was down 0-3 is 0 and 149. Mm-hmm. If you're the Celtics, you can't focus on that number. Because that number is going to make you say, well, shit, we should just give up. Nobody has ever done it before. Right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? So when you coaching a team, you don't tell them what we up against. You say, let's just win one game. Let's just win another game.
That's a disservice.
You don't, no, hear me out. So what I'm telling you is, I'm not saying that I don't want my children to one day learn about slavery. I'm saying, why the fuck I'm going to tell them when they 5?
I'm not saying tell them when
I'm saying, by the way, my son is 14. And I said this 10 years ago. He was 4. And it was like, you need to tell your son about slavery. I'm like, why?
I agree that there's a certain age,
but
your kids need to know about slavery. They need to know about slavery. They need to know what our ancestors went through to get to them where they are right now. That's why kids don't appreciate shit, because they think everything was just given to them that way.
I want to say something. You are 100% right. They need to learn about slavery, but they need to learn when it's time.
I agree with that.
Kids don't need to learn about sex either until it's time, right?
Oh, you know what?
Kids don't need to know about financial literacy until it's time. So I'm telling you that there's a time and place for everything, but as of right now, my kids, we don't talk about slavery because my kids, their narrative, there's white people on our property cleaning it up right now. Think about that. Like, so why would I tell them at one point we was outside cleaning it up and they were in the house? So they
could appreciate it a little bit more. No. Started from the bottom, now we here.
I make them appreciate it by teaching them lessons, but I don't tell them when they were short. It's like, what's the word? Naivety? Ignorance is bliss, right? Sometimes you don't need to know what you're up against. It's like my artist, Kane, Love Child. He's sitting right there. He just signed a record deal. I know 1 out of every 10 record deals is successful. I know that. I'm not going to take away his bliss and say, man, this is a 90% chance you ain't going to make it. I wouldn't do that to him. I'm like, let's focus on what we do and we will make it.
It's all about how you package it.
By the way, I got to say something. It's something that I got to say as a culture referee. It's something that's super important. It's 2 words that have fucked us up, and I got to stand on this right now. It's 2 words that fucked us up that we need to reverse. Number 1, we need to reverse. It's 2 words that society sees. 1 is positive, 1 is negative, and we have to change it. The positive word is humble. If you look up the definition of humble, humble is a negative thing. One to minimize oneself.
Yeah, always trying to humble the black woman.
And then another word is, hold on. So I'm gonna read 2 comments. Here's humble. Having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. That's the definition of humble. Do you want your kids to be humble?
Nope.
You understand what I'm saying? Now I think like, damn, I don't want to be that. Now here's another word. I'm just going to read the fucking definition. And tell me, do you want your kids to be like this? A person who has excessive interest in or admiration of themselves. You want your kids to be that way, right?
Yeah.
That's called a narcissist.
Oh.
So a narcissist, that's someone who thinks highly of himself, is a negative thing. And someone who thinks low of themselves, being humble, is a positive thing. Now you could you can have humility, that's different. But being humble, I'm not teaching my kids to be humble. And I'm going to teach my kids it's okay to be a narcissist, because narcissist is something that I want you to be, someone who loves and has admiration for themselves. And humble is something I don't want you to be, someone who doesn't think anything of themselves. That be humble shit. Since you talk so much, that be humble shit is the shit that the slave masters told the black people we being real. We don't talk about that though.
They didn't tell them be humble. They told them you wasn't shit.
No.
They was
No. When we start getting into Jim Crow era and all that other shit, it was like, you niggas is free, but don't come in here with that bullshit. Be humble. Be happy that you're getting welfare and food stamps. That's what they told us. And I'm saying, fuck that. That's why I'm the culture referee. Because I'm not afraid to say that's bullshit. Manipulation, another word. People say it's negative, right? Manipulation is not negative. Look at Dennis Rodman. Before Phil Jackson, after Phil Jackson. During Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson manipulated him to believe he could be something. I manipulate artists to believe that they could fucking fly. Because I know they can if they wanted to. They just don't know they can fly. So manipulation is not a bad word. But don't try to manipulate me. Motherfucker, what if it's for a good reason?
Right.
I'm trying to manipulate you to believe you could be more. Is that a bad thing? It's just certain words of society that we look at as that we're seeing wrong. Never gonna tell my kids be humble. I'm gonna tell my kids be grateful, be thankful. But I'm gonna always say you could be a narcissist around this motherfucker. Because a narcissist just means you love and happy and have admiration for yourself, and you should. There's not one successful person in the world that started from nothing that became successful that is not a narcissist. You better fucking believe that. That's the secret that they learned.
Somebody gotta do it. All right, so in closing, I want to ask you an American Dad question.
I love American Dad question. American Black Dad.
American Black Dad.
I'm a black man.
I got two of them.
I want to stand. I want to stress that. I'm black. I'm a black dad. I'm a dad, but I'm a black dad. So I see the world way different. It goes back to that can white women raise?
I never want to touch that again. They ate me up for months on that one.
Don't ever feel bad. And this is whoever listening, I want to say this. Don't ever feel bad for challenging people's thoughts. We got to teach. I teach my kids that. If I say something you don't believe, ask me. I grew up in a house where my mom said, you better do what the fuck I tell you, I'm going to slap the shit out of you. So when you get into society, you start following the rules. I want my kids challenge everyone and everybody. And if somebody has a problem with you challenging them, that means that they're against you. They don't respect you, period. So when I tell my kids something, and I also teach them to negotiate everything. Don't take what I offer you, counter. Because that's what life is. Am I right or wrong, Jack Dance? Period. So my thing is that we got to start, that's why I stepped off the porch to talk. Because I feel like we're not teaching each other right, because I know if I listened to what was told to be by authorities and older people around me, I would be working at Delta running fucking bags. But because I listened to me, those people that were telling me what to do, they don't have to work no more. Thank God.
What's a question that every parent should ask themselves before when their children are entering the teenage years?
Was a question that every parent should ask? I would probably say, did I prepare my child for the world? My mom didn't prepare me for the world. My mom just pumped fear in me. I didn't smoke weed because I was afraid of my mom. I haven't smoked weed to this day, but I remember being 14 and, everybody exploring smoking. And I remember my friends smoking. I remember being like, I don't know what your mom's gonna do, but if Lorraine Daniels pulls up and sees me with anything in my mouth, she's going to fuck me up. Period. So for me, it's like, I'm just saying, that's why I didn't do it. That's why I didn't do it. Period.
Okay, so in closing, one time you told me, ask you movie questions. You're a big movie person. So what movie changed your viewpoint on how a man should behave?
That could be millions of movies. That could be anything. It could be any movie. You got to get way more specific when you ask that.
Well, I was going to say the definition of a man, but I thought maybe...
Okay, a great definition of a man movie, first thing pops in my head is Friday, when Craig's character was about to go shoot Debo, and his father caught him with the gun and was like, put the gun down and fight like a man. That shit stuck with me. So, by the way, we don't even have those moments in movies anymore. Or when Boys in the Hood and Trey was about to go retaliate for his best friend getting killed, and his dad was in his head. He was like, let me out the car. We just need more of that. There's a lot of movies, by the way. Movies have been my greatest teacher, and music.
Okay, and then my last one, because I have one more movie.
And I want to, go ahead.
But you kind of touched on it. What death in a movie really had an impact on you growing up?
By the way, you asked some really good questions.
Thank you.
Death that had a effect on me.
Mine was The Lion King. I was so traumatized when the father died. I was so traumatized.
First death that popped in my head was Menace to Society.
Yeah, I thought that's
the reason why was because he was trying. Like, he was trying to get better. It was like he was gonna go to Atlanta. He made his mind up, and he died saving a kid over fucking abroad. Mm-hmm. It was just like, fuck. By the way, I just want to say this. This is super important. I just got to get this out. To all black men, we don't always, okay, let me start off. I got to say it's important. To black men, don't kill or die over a woman. Because if you kill over her and you go to jail, when you're in jail, somebody going to get it again. And if you die, somebody going to get it while you're dead. So please, black men, stop killing and fighting over. Like, if you're going to hurt each other over principle or something different. But don't let it be over a woman. Because when you go, somebody going to get it. It's very important to say. I'm just like, you got to think like that.
I agree with you.
Niggas go to jail, and then he go to jail for doing something. He's in jail, and she's out
right outside.
Taking a pound town every day. And you can't do nothing about it. But you stood on it. If she want to go somewhere else, or if another dude want her, let him have her. Now, if somebody disrespect her and you do that, way different. Yeah. That's man shit. But I'm saying, don't die or kill over your woman messing with another man. Because I just saw a story about a guy doing that. By the way, and rest in peace, Tina Turner.
Oh, yes. R.I.P. Tina. She had an amazing legacy. There would be no Beyonce without her, if you ask me. But yeah.
I would say no Beyonce without Tina Turner. But I mean, not Tina Turner without Diana Ross. But, you know, it is what it is.
Influences, but yeah. Anyway, this is the Culture Report. I am a girl from Harlem. Who you?
And this is Ray Daniels, aka the Culture Referee.
Make sure you guys subscribe.
Boom.
Make sure you guys follow us. Make sure you are commenting on all of our posts and sharing and saving our videos, guys. See you guys next Friday. This is the Culture Report.
Oh.